Hope you can see my screen.
Yeah,
Okay. So hello everyone. Welcome to Global Business Apps Weekend 2022, powered by D365 Champs. It's an annual event today, and we hope you are doing well and keeping safe. I'm Venkat Subbarao Pulseti, moderating this session with Avinash Bhatgujar, and this session was presented by Mahendar Paul. Mahendar will be talking about Power Pages. Okay. So Jess, I would like to say a brief introduction. Actually, it takes more time to give introduction to Mahinder because, but I will try to keep it shorter. So Mahinder was a principal consultant Power Platform and in Power Platform, and he's a solution architect. He's an author and speaker, and he's a trainer, and he owns his own company, Himbep. And he has provided more solution to the customers, more than 100 plus solutions that he has provided. And he's also 9 plus times MVP award winner. You can say recognition is there, so most of the people does not have that much experience. So before starting their career itself, Mahendra has started his contributions. Okay. And he also delivered dynamics and power platform and azure related solution to various clients from his engagements. So before I hand over this session to Mahinder, I would like to mention that if you have any queries, please feel free drop it in the chat window. We will take them either during the session if possible or during the Q&A time. And thank you again for joining and enjoy the session. And also please note that this particular meeting will be recorded. If you have any concerns, please feel free to drop. Otherwise, the stage is set for Mahinder to take this Power Pages journey. So Mahinder Paul, over to you.
thank you, Victor. Uh, so let me share my screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, greetings everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and we are having lots of exciting sessions since morning. So in this session, I'm going to talk about the Power Pages. So Power Pages is, as Venkatesh said, that this is a new member of the family Power Platform. So we are going to discuss about this here. So let's quickly jump on that. So Venkat have already provided, I think it's more detail. That's not in, but so I don't want to explain it and provide the details again. So I'm not going to, say that and think Venkat has already, said so many things. So let's jump into the direct, agenda before what we are going to discuss today. So, but let me, before this agenda, let me show you quick thing that what we are going to build today. So this is a demo website that we are going to build today in the demo session. So this is a quick website that I have built and taken, some content from the D365 Champ website. So here we have the list of the sessions. So I found some of the information from the LinkedIn. So there I captured that session details. So these are not the fully list, but I found it these many sessions from the LinkedIn. So I got that, and we have the feedback. So if you want to submit feedback on that any of the sessions, so we can submit the feedback here. So we have the feedback form, and we can see that if the feedback is submitted, we can see that existing feedbacks. And we have the contact us form where we can fill the detail and that basically capture that information in the dataverse. So this is the demo website that we are going to build today. Okay, so back to the agenda. So before jumping on the Power Pages details, for building the website or the public website, first we will discuss that what are the things that you need to build a website. Okay, and then we will discuss about that what is Power Pages and what are the things that is available on the Power Pages. And then we will discuss like why we want to use the Power Pages, what is the reason behind, what are the features, and what are the main reasons that you need to use the Power Pages or you should use the Power Pages. And then we will see that licensing options. So what are the licensing options available on the Power Pages? How you can, buy the license for that. And then we will have the demo. Okay, so this is the high level agenda that we are going to discuss today. And then finally, after these topics, we will also discuss like, if you are already working with the Power Platform, you might be aware of that we already have one member in the family, like, Power Portals. So is it something different from the Power Portals, or, how it is different? And so we will be discussing after the last topic on that. So let's start. So first thing is that, in a high level, the Power Pages is that tool that we use to build a public website. Okay. So when we want to build a website, first we need to understand, so what are the tools that, or what are the things that you require to build a website? Okay. So how you need to plan, and what are the tools that you need, and what are the high level step that you require for building any website? Okay. The first one is that is the why you need a website. Okay. So whenever, let's say for example, you are working on any project or on any product or any problem you want to solve, first you need to know that, okay, what is the problem, right? Only then you can find out the solution. So similarly here, if we want to build a website, first we want to know that why we want to build a website. Okay. So very common scenario that we have here, like, when you're working on a company or you have your own company, you want to build a website, to show your expertise, to show your credibility, to show your product and services, right? To showcase all of your teams and all those, or your case study of the projects that you have, delivered to your customers. So these are the main reason that we select, we want to create a website. Okay. You may want to, let's say for example, you are on the some kind of e-commerce business and you want to sell some of your products online, then also you want to build a website. So these are very very common scenario that everybody, aware of, that why we want to build a website. And everyone who is like part of the technology, and whenever they start working with the, web technology, might have dreamed of creating website one day. So like for example, when I started initially working with the HTML, we created, I created a website, and I was thinking that, okay, I will create my website in HTML. And then we moved to in the .NET. Then I created my website into ASP.NET. Okay, now, but the technology has totally changed. Instead of the, pro development tool, now we use the low code, no code tools, right, to build our website. So here we have the different scenario now. So once we have that answer that why we need the website, the second thing we want to plan that what will be the high level structure of our website. Okay. So we can say that very common is that home page, we will have that one landing page where we will provide the details, and then we will have that other pages. So it could be a product or services, or it could be a blog, or it could be a contact us. The contact us is a very critical page here that require, every website require it. So because we want to connect to our customers, so whoever is visiting our website, we want to capture them as a lead or something. Maybe, if they want to pass some information to us, or they want to provide any feedback, we want to have this page. So this is a very critical page that we need to have in our website. Okay. Now, so second thing is the builder. So why I'm saying builder here, because as I said that we are not going to talk about the pro development tools. So we are just going to talk about the low code, no code solution. So these are the common no code, low code solution that is available in the market, but we are not going to use them. We will be, concentrating on the Power Pages. So, but just an example that we have that, GoDaddies and all these. So these are basically the GUI tools where you just need to drag and drop your controls and your website will be ready very quickly. Okay. And the next thing is the design. So we have the structure in the place, we have that, we have selected our which of the tool that we are going to use for our website. The next thing is the branding, right? Where we want to decide that, okay, how our website will be look like. Okay, so most of the tool provide that design studio, where as I said that they provide that simple drag and drop tools, and you can just configure that and insert the sections and insert the multimedia and configure that and design and do the stylings and change the colors and fonts and everything that can be changed there from the within the studio. And then once we have that website ready, the design is ready, then you can configure your domain and do the testing. And so for example here, this like right now, if we will check that create any portal web page website or the Power Portal website, so they have their custom, Microsoft has their own domain that is by default there, but you can configure your company domain. So for example, himbap.com, so this is kind of a domain that you can configure onto your website, right? And then finally, once all these things are ready, we are ready to launch our website, and that basically will be available for the public use. Okay, so these are the things that is require us whenever we want to build a website. Okay, so now, as I said that today we are going to discuss about the Power Pages. So our Power Building tool here is the Power Pages. So Power Pages is as I said, another member in the Power Platform family. So if you are, already working with the Power Platform, so if you might have seen this image earlier, we had earlier these features like Power, BI, we have the Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, but now we have a new member here that you can see the Power Pages. So the Power Pages tool allow us to build a website using the low code, no code solution, where it provide other features like hosting, and we can admin our websites, we can set up the security, we can configure the pages, we can create that our tables and design the screens. All the things can be done within the Power App Design Studio itself. Okay, so you don't need to require any kind of technical knowledge there. You don't need to write any kind of CSS. Yes, if you have very custom specific requirement, then you may need to write that extend the capabilities and writing some more extensive CSS or any other scripting there. But by default, in a simple scenario, you don't need to be a pro developer. Any simple citizen developer can build the website using the Power Pages. Okay, and it is by default just like other uh, you know Power App services that we have, like Canvas app and model driven app. This is also a responsive. It can be used in the multi devices, and it rendered based on the screen size, so you don't need to work on any kind of the responsiveness on that. So this is by default responsive in the design. So now, how we set up that Power Pages? So we have the quick steps here. So we can start with the Power Pages trial here. So you can navigate to this URL. So when you will navigate to this URL, you will be, they will be asking you that you need to provide that your email ID here. You need to keep in mind that you cannot use your personal email ID, your social email ID accounts here. You have to use your corporate email ID here. Okay, so this require corporate email ID for setting up that trial. So it's very easy. There are few screens that you just need to follow, and then you will be reached on that the main screen, where you can see that you have that multiple options to set up the trial. So for example, if you know that in the Power Portals, we once we set up one trial, we were not able to do any create any other trial or set up any other portal. Okay, so if you want to set up another one, you have to pay that amount. But here at least the trials are there free, so you can set up multiple trials. And once you set up your trial, you can see here that you will be, this is the basically home page here, where you can see that how many trials you have set up, how many website that you have already. If you want to create, you can create new website from here itself. Let's say if you have already set up the Power Pages trials earlier, so you can set up new trials here. And if you want to edit any of your existing website, you can click here edit, and if you can also preview it using this option, so you can manage all of your website from this page. Okay, so you can do that things here, and then we have the different templates. So just like earlier, we also have the different templates here. So you don't need to start from the scratch. So you can use any existing templates, and based on the template selections, it will set up the page layouts, and you can do the modification based on your requirement. So by default, whatever template you will select, it will set up the website with all the pages, all the screen layouts, and by default there will be the demo text will be there, the demo images will be there, and then you can modify that based on your requirements. So the templates are available there. And now let's say, for example, you set up that trial, it will take very few minutes to set up that trial. So you can quickly set up it. And then we have that next thing is the designer of the Power Pages, where we can do that designing of our website, right? So here, so first thing is the pages. So if you will go to that, the design studio here, you can see here, we have that option. So you can see that we have these options here. So we have the first one is the pages. So when we select the pages, you can see in the right hand side, we have that designer area where we can do the designing of our pages. We can select the page. Based on the page, you can select the layout. By default, layout will be there. But if you want to modify it, you can do that modification. You can change the text and do that the button styling and all those. So if you want to change the logo or change the website title here, you can, all things can be done from the pages here. And then next thing is the branding. So whenever we build the website, so we want to do a specific, use a specific branding in our website. So mostly your website reflect, what your business is. So I'm not sure if you have noticed some time, whenever you will get any product ad in the TV, if you will see that this ad will use the same color which that product has. Okay, so for example, let's say if Dettol is doing some kind of ad for that some product, and that product color is green, so they will use everything on that ad is matching to that green color, or mostly it will be green color only. So that's thing we do that on the branding. So whenever we design that website, we do our branding based on our product and services. So that can be done here. So we have that option of setting up the styling. So there are default themes that is available. You can select those themes. If you want to modify, you can go ahead and do the changes on there. And in the right hand side, you can see all the changes, whatever you are doing, that will be reflecting here on the pages. So you can immediately show that impact. So if, let's say, for example, you want to change the font or size or whatever, so immediately you will be able to see that response here on the right hand side. The next thing is the data. So we have this data option that is available. So if you want to render some kind of data into your website, you can do that from here. So we have a next slide on that. So we will discuss more on that the next slide. Next thing that we have is the setup. In case of the setup is basically on the website. So if you want to do any setup related to the website, for example, you want to change the name of the website, and you want to, your website folder, you want to do that. So any kind of identity provider. So all these things can be done from here. Next thing that we have is the automation. So if you want to set up any workflow, okay, so you want to set up any Power Automate. So those kind of thing can be, you know, done using this automation option. So for example, let's say if you are building some website and you are having some kind of form. So as soon as the form is submitted, you want to trigger some kind of workflow, maybe, just a notification to the user. Okay, thank you for submitting your feedback, or maybe, thank you for joining us, or sending your feedback, or sending your project request or anything. So that can be done using the automation option here. Okay, so now if we discuss like this, what are the power pages and what are the things that can be done, we have the designer. So these things are, I just said that things are very, very common. Okay. So then the question arises that why we will use the power pages? Why, we cannot do this in the other things? So for example, I can build my website using the any other web technology. Okay. Why should I use the power pages? Right, so this is very common that we can use any other front end technology, or where we can design our website and do all the things that we discuss. We can do the designing and we can do that all the branding and all those things. So there are some a few reasons that power pages is very useful here. The first thing is the data driven website. Okay, so let's say, for example, if you are building a static website, yes, of course, you can use any other tools, and you can also use the Power Pages. But if you want to build a data-driven website, you can also use any other, front-end technology or any web technology to build that website. But for the data-driven website, you have to put loads of extra efforts if you will use any other technology. Okay, so you need to work on the multiple things. So for example, you need to build a integration layer, okay, between your website and the data source, or let's say in our case, that's a dataverse. Okay, so our data is stored on the dataverse, and let's say if you have a requirement that we want to render some data into our website. Okay, so yes, technically you can do that. You can build the website in the other technologies, and then you have to build a data layer that the two applications, the two technologies can communicate, and you can do that. Fetch the data from there, and you can render the data, and then if any case you want to store the data as well. So you need to do that. All those CRUD operations. Okay, you need to take care of the security, you need to take care of the authorization. So there are multiple things that you need to put extra effort on. But in case of the power apps, we have all the things available out of the box. You don't need to put so much efforts there, and with the very easily you can configure those options, and those data can be easily rendered on your website, right? So like here, you can see that if you click on the data option on that home page where we build our website, so you can see that it will show us all the default tables that is available in the Dataverse. If you want to use any of that existing table, you can use those tables. And if you want to create new table, you can also create new table, and you can do that all the things whatever you can do in the power apps or model driven apps. So this same experience is already you know implemented here. So if you are already power platform user, or that how to work with the power platform, it's very easy for you. And if you are not done that, then also you can do it very easily here. Okay, everything is self explanatory. You can select those options, you can set up that tables, you can set up the forms, you can create the view. So everything can be done from here. Okay, so if you have, let's say, customer data that you want to utilize, so those things. So as I said, that if there is an existing table that you want to use, you can easily use those tables, and there are existing forms. So if, let's say, for example, if I'm using the account, okay, in account we know that we have lots of metadata is already set up. We have the forms and views, they're already there. So we don't need to customize or create it unless we have a specific requirement, right? And in the forms here, so for example, if we want to design the forms, you can see that it's the same experience, just like the model driven app, or the we can design the screens, we can drag and drop the fields. You can, if you want, you can create new fields there. If you want, you can also use that PCF controls are there. So there are default controls that we can use. And you can also, if you have built, you are a pro developer and you have built any custom component, that component can be also used here. Then the out of the box security that I said, that you don't need to do any kind of any extra effort there. You don't need to do it develop anything from the scratch. So there are already the security layer is already set up here. You just need to configure. So you can see here that you can set up the table permissions here, and you can decide that, okay, what are the permissions that I want to give to the user. Okay, what type of access? So we have different type of access is there. So for example, right now I have this is the global access, means that you have access to the everything. Okay, then we have the different roles are there. So just like we have security roles in the dataverse, in the power pages here we have the roles that basically uh, decide that what are the things that you can do and what are the tables and all those you have the access. So you can select those and you can simply configure it, and then you will be ready for your website. So these are the things that is makes the use of the power pages uniquely. And then all the things apart from that, we have that out of the box integration. So that we have power all the power platform all the complete ecosystem that is available here. You can do that integration with the power automate. You have that integration with the office app. You have the integration with the SharePoint. So all that things, the existing set of the existing ecosystem can be utilized here as well in the power pages. So these are the things that is not easy in the other technologies if you want to build a website using any other technologies. So that's why we go for, if you are already working with the power platform, if you are already using the dynamics then power page is the first choice to build your website. Okay, and the last thing that we have here is the licensing. So licensing basically, now let's say we know that now, okay, uh, we decided yes, the power pages is the good thing for us and we want to go for the power pages and we want to build our website using power pages. Now what is the pricing? So we have two things here. The first thing is the subscription plan. So two options are there. So based on your plan what you select. So first thing is that we can see here we have basically two type of users here. One is the authenticated user and another one is the anonymous user. The authenticated user is who is entering some kind of the credential to get into the your website. Okay, so yeah, they are using any you're using their username password, or they are using any other identity provided to connect to your website. So for those set of users, so we have the $200 for the 100 user per site per month. Okay, so based on the site, so you need to pay this amount and this much users will be allowed to access your website monthly basis. So, so now, so if you are not a authenticated user and you are just they are browsing your website and they are not entering into your website, then you have that option for the $75 for the 500 user per month per site. Okay, so depending on the user. So for example, let's say you have connected to your website, and these are basically calculated based on the this user. It basically they set up the session internally, and based on the session they identify that if you are a new user or the same user. The next thing that we have is the pay as you go. So this works with the Azure subscriptions, and similarly to this, we have two categories here as well. One for the authenticated and samely for the another non-authenticated user. So here this one is little bit costlier than this. As you can see here, it will be around cost us around $2, but here it's will be around $4 if we do that calculation on that. So here it's little bit costlier than this, but you can use it whenever you need it. So you can do that based on the selection. So these are the two things that is available on the licensing side. And if you are already aware of that power portal licensing, so this is a little bit different from that. So it's totally differently they have introduced this licensing option here. Okay, so these are the PPT that I wanted to cover. So let me jump into that demo and let's see. So in between, if you have any question, we can discuss. Otherwise, here, I hope you guys can see my screen. So this is the, so let's say if I go to this Power Pages trial. So whenever you will enter this URL, so you will be, landed on this page. And when you will click on that, try it for free, you will get this screen here where you can use your corporate ID. And let's say if I select this here and click on the start your free trial. So you can see that because I have already set up, some trials earlier. So I have, rendered on this, landed over on the same page here where I can see all of my existing trials that I have set up. And based on that, if I want to create a new website from here, I can click on there. If I want to modify any of this, I can click on edit button and it will open that website for me. And if I want to preview it, I can just click on the preview button and it will be, opening up this pop-up dialog where I can just select and click on that and it will open that website for us. Okay, so this is that here. So before creating the new website here, I just want to tell you here this we have the three options here. The first homepage that this is that on the right hand side. The next one is the template. So when you will click on the template, you can see here that we have different templates available, which you can click on that and you can preview that template and you can see that how it will look like, what will be the pages, how it will look like on the mobile. And if you want to use this, you can select that, use that, and that it will create a new website using this template. Okay, so these are the different templates that is available here. And when you will click on the learn option here, so you will see that this basically the learning hub that is available. And this is very, very useful for, when you want to get start with the Power Pages. So let's say if you are working on something and you want to get some documentation or you want to get some details on that, so you can select different tutorials are there, so you can select those options and there are basically step-by-step process. So if you have been working with the Microsoft technologies since long, you will be noticing that in the recent year I have seen so much rich contents on the Microsoft documentation that we don't need to, like earlier we did whenever earlier we used, I remember that in the initial days of Dynamics, when we wanted to get some help and we used to look the SDK. So that was very limited. We used to get that the CHM file that we used to download into our desktop and used to get it from there. But nowadays we have lots of documentation available and lots of help is available and you can utilize those and do these things, get done things very quickly. Okay, so these are the things that is there. So now let's click on this create a site. And when we will create a site, so it will we will be landed on this page. So this will again the same, it will ask us this, okay, which template we want to select. So for example, let's say I want to select this template here. So it will check that if this website with the same address already exists, and you can see here this is the default domain name that will be there. So it's similar to that Power Portals. Okay, so this is available, and we can simply say done. And now it will take that template design and it will set up the trial for us, and it will set up the default pages for us. And if you are already working with the Power Portal and you know that Power Portal, so it was a big pain that when we set up that trial, it used to take lots of time to set up that trials in the portal. And this is I love this, like it within the few minute or seconds your website will be ready for you. But in the earlier we used to take lots of times, almost around sometime more than 30 minutes or hours to set up that portal. Anybody have any experience earlier they want to share till it's setting up this?
Yes, yes, we do have mine. I worked earlier with the power,
So
this
it was a
ADX
big pain
portals and
to.
all. Yes, yes, it is a nightmare actually. You're not sure whether it will be published correctly, whether it will be set or not, whether all the pages used to come or not. So until that is up and running, we don't know. Black box. And also that too, we don't have any editor like this.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
this
like
is
a normal
totally.
HTML page and all. Yeah.
So now here that you can see that our website, it's still configuring in the behind the scene, but almost it's we are landed on this page, and it's showing some of that information that it's getting it ready. But at least these things are, some few things are ready here, and but that edit button is not enabled. So it's setting up here. And this is also like you can set up multiple trial. That is another new things, as I said that earlier this was not possible, that for the one environment you can set up only one portal, especially when you want to do some kind of R&D, and you want to learn something on that portal, so you had to set up always new trial. But here, while it's setting up, it said just to showcase here that this new power pages, if let's say for example I have a sales trial here, that's the another thing, that if I select here, so if I select my sales trial, you can see in the sales trial I have set up a new portal app. Okay, that is a traditional power portal. So I can see that power portal is also listed on the same here. So I can set up, now I can set up a new website using the power pages, as well as my old portal is also visible here. So everything is there on the single place. I can manage it from here. But right up as of now, this don't support this new designer experience. See here, this I got my notification on that email that power portal is set up. So let's see. Okay, so it's ready for us. So now we can click on this edit button, and then it will render us, or no, we will be landed over the designer. So where we can do our designing and we can set up our pages and do that branding. So you can see here that all this complete website is set up based on that trial, and we have the different pages that is set up here. And in the right hand, sorry, in the left hand side, we have the section here. We have the pages. So if I click on the pages, you can see that we have the two pages. We have sub pages, sub pages two, and then we have the contact us. So these are the pages that is created by default for us. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. And let's do some designing here. So let's quickly do that changes. So for example, I want to change this company name. So you can see here, as soon as you will click on up that any control here, any placeholder here, you will start getting this menu. Okay, And this menu will provide you different options. So for, if you want to edit the background or if you want to change the layout, so we have different options here. Let me do one thing quickly here. So I'm going to copy the content from the old website. Okay, so we can do that. Okay, so I can set up the things from here. So whatever changes I want to do, so based on that, I can do these things here. Let's say, for example, in this section, if you will click, let's say, for example, this is a very big section here. And let's say here, I want to place my welcome message. So let me copy it here. And I can click on here and I can replace it from here. Now, let's say, for example, I want to do some changes on that here. And so these you can see that we have the different margin options are available and the padding options are available. So let me do quickly one thing here. So you can see that it will immediately show us that options here. Here. So now we have this, button here. So let's say, for example, we want to make this button and as a joining link. So when you click on this, you will see that, the properties are coming here where you can do that, editing on this button. You can set up the styling and let's say click on that edit here. And let's say I want to call it here. And here I want to provide the joining link for the today's session. Okay. So let's say these are the default section that is created. So let's say, for example, I just don't want to use these sections. So you can simply click on these sections and you can, remove it. So let's say I just want to have, I want to remove this complete section. We remove this part as well here. So you can simply click on and remove it. Let's remove this as well. So we have just now one section here. Let me remove this one as well. So now in this section here, so let's take an example that, I want to do some, changes here. Let me delete this part as well. So let's say I want to add a two columns. So you can see that we have, options here. So just select the layout, what, layout you want to set up on the section. So you want to add that, different type of options are there. Now here you can see we have that option. So let's say, for example, I want to quickly add a multimedia here and I want to select this video where I want to select the YouTube. And let me do one thing quickly here. Let me get this URL from this year. So I got it from the last year session and it's ready here. Okay. So if I click on in this section, let's say I just want to add this about us. Okay. So this is that. So my home page is ready here. So you can see that how quickly we can use these options and modify this and do the changes here. So that's ready. And now let's go to this different pages. So here we have the pages. Let's say, for example, if you want to work on the pages and you want to do some modification on the pages. So for example, I want to change that name of this pages. So I can simply go ahead and say sessions on in this page. Let's say, for example, I want to delete these pages. Now we are on this session pages. So here, let's say, for example, I want to call it sessions, and this section I just want to delete it. And let's say, for example, I want to do that left assign this, and let me delete these things as well, and then we will add a. Okay, so we have just one section here. Now let's add another section, so one column section. And in this, now we can see that we have different options that we can use. So we have different component that we can use and place that component here on the page. So we have text is the button, or multimedia is there, the forms, and multi-step forms and list, or the any Power BI if you want to showcase that Power BI reporting here. So in our case, I just want to display that list of the session that we have today. So if I will click on the list, you will see that it will open a pop-up here, which where we can select the tables, that which table we want to connect with. Okay, so I have one table here. So let me show you that. So if you'll click on this here, so you can see that I just clicked on the data option here, and all this data option that is available here. So let me go back to this. So we have one table here. So I have created one table here, where we have that, these are the different column that is there, where we are capturing this detail about the topic, technology, event URLs, and who is the speaker on that. So you can see that, we have the options available for the tables and views and the forms. So there are, the forms that is there by default. If you want to modify that, you can do that. So by default, information form is there. So we are going to use this one. So I'm going to, render it here. So I'm going to select the sessions, and then I want to show others all that active sessions. Okay. So as soon as you will select this option, so this will be available here. So now you can see that as soon as you will place any control, the data control, so you will get this kind of the message here. So you need to set up the permission for that if you want to make it available to the end user. Okay. So you can click on that new permissions here. So you don't need to go to the portal management tab. You can quickly do it from here itself. You can click on this, and let's say, for example, I want to give this read, right? See, append to, and here as we'll click on this add roles, you can see we have the by default these roles that is available. So as we are going to build this website for the non-authenticated users, so I'm going to use this anonymous options here, that roles, and then simply you can save it. So that this information that will be gone, which will be regarding that permission. So our session page is ready. Now, let's say, for example, we want to add another page here. So we can click on this new page, and we can select this page, and let's say want to add that feedback. And let's say this new page is added here. So I can, let's say I want to put that form here, to put a new form. and this one I want to use the feedback. So we can select the form from here. So it will show you that all the forms that is available. So I'm going to select this feedback form. So here we have different options are there when you add that form. So we have that data options. So from this form, what we want to create, like we have this view available. You want to create new record, update existing, or read only. So these are the things that is available on submit. What you want to do, okay, where you want to go. You just want to display a message, or you want to redirect to that different page. So let's build this page first, and there is a here. So let me remove this part. I don't want this one. See, this is done. So it will render that page here. Now you can also do this thing here. You can add the permission here on that. See, and I'm going to use this is again non-authenticated user here. And let's add another page where we want to see existing feedback. Let's take this. Let me do one thing. Let me add a sub page here. Okay, so we have that sub page here, and we want to display that list of that existing feedback. This is the existing view that is available there. So I just want to provide that here. Okay, so this is ready for us. And now, so you saw that how quickly we can configure those, and we can easily let's say we want to move this to the down on that here, and let's go ahead and do some kind of the styling here. So if you will click on the styling, you can see that we have the different themes that is available out of the box. So you can select any of those here. So let's say I want to select this one. So you can see that whenever you will select anything on the right hand side, immediately we will see that this impact on our site here. So let's see this one, and here we have different options where we can do some more modification if you want to do any changes on that. So you can do that as well. You can modify, do the coloring as well here from that. So I'm not going to do that. Let me save it here. Okay, so now our theme is applied here. Let's quickly view this, the website that we have built here. So we have that option here for the preview. So we can click on this desktop, and then it will be rendered. The first time it will ask me this because I'm here connected with my corporate email. So if we click on that home page, you can see that our home page is ready for us. So we have the sessions. So when we click on the session, we can see all that existing session that we have here based on the columns that we have added based on the details. So if you will go to the feedback, we'll get this feedback form that will be rendered here. Let's take an example here. If I will click on that, you can see that lookup option is available here. Let's say, for example, if I'm selecting this one, selecting. So this is the default one. So I'm getting things here. Okay, so we have this, one thing that is there on the, rating one. So let's say, for example, I'm going to do one thing actually. Let me go back here and on this form. So you can see that we have that option for enable the custom, component here. So let's say if I'm going to use this maximum rating option as a component. So when we click here, it's done. Okay, so we have these options that is available here for us. Have this here quickly here. Select this one. So we have this, submission completed quickly, and we can click on this existing feedback. It should show us that existing feedback that we have here. Okay, and we will click on that. Contact us with this form is out of the box that is available. So this is also, we have not done anything. So this screen is already there. So this is how we can see here that how quickly we can build a very, if we have a requirement something like this. Let's say we have some event and that is happening, and we want to quickly set up a website where we want to provide details about that our event. So this is very easy here in the Power Apps here, and you can see that one option that is available here. This is right now it's showing us that it's in the private mode. So we can do that one thing, we can select the public here, and then this website will be available on the publicly. So if you will try to browse this, you will be able to access this website. Okay. Okay, so this is what here. So we have that other option. So we can set up that identity provider if you want to set up any kind of thing. So you can configure those things. We have seen this table permissions that is there, which we set up. So you can quickly set up those permissions here. So those type of things that is available. And another thing that we have this automation. We can use the Power Automate if you have any requirement, or do some more portal management using from these options. Okay, so these are the things that I wanted to show on the demo here now. So if we, after seeing this, if we talk about that, it is something different from the portal. Okay, what is different from the portal? So you see this, setting up the this process, the setting up the portal and the trial, that is very very fast compared to the Power Portal, right? So this is a totally very very good experience here. But earlier we used to take a lot of time to set up these portals. So we can set up multiple trials on the same environment. If you want to do any R&D, or you are in learning phase and you're learning something, so you can set up multiple trial and do your R&D on this, right? So you have a new designer experience that is not available in the older portals, but this will be available there as well. You have the screens controls, that's list Earlier, we used to go to the portal management app. There, we need to, configure those things and set up this. But here, we can do this within the designer itself. We can do that all the designing. You can design your forms and screens. You can design your controls and list and the views. Everything can be done from the designer itself. Okay, the final setup that this complete portal setup, that is also done. You can do it from the designer as well. You don't need to go to that. Most of the thing can be done from the designer itself, right? So these are the things that we have here, that compared to the older portals. But if the one thing that again comes into that mind, that then what is this the power page, and what is this the portal? So this is not something new, this is just a brand name change. So it's same set of platform, and in future the power portal will be gone, and everything that will have this the power pages only. So all of the existing customers, that will be automatically will have this power pages, so they don't need to do any kind of migration. There is no migration upgradation step is there. So everything will become after some time is the power pages. Okay, so that's the thing that I wanted to cover today. So if you have any questions, so we can discuss that. Or if you have any, if anything you want to discuss, you can feel free and unmute yourself and we can discuss.
Right. There was a question from Palash, right? So cost-wise, is there any advantage of for Power Pages websites?
This let's say from this cost wise, if you are, this question is coming from that portal side, that okay, what was the licensing in the portal power portals and what is the licensing in the power pages. So yes, definitely, because they have used now, this is more flexibility is there on the portals power pages now, that was not there earlier, you know. So earlier we have a different things that we very limited options were there, but they have now, they created the broad options, that as if you are want to go for the in the bulk, you can go with the subscription. But if you want to go on the pay as you use, just like your Azure subscription, so you can go with the pay as you go. And yes, this is definitely a good option compared to that earlier. So this is a new thing. And as I said, that the older portal will be also going to have the same thing. So because now this power portal, the licensing, everything that will be gone, going future, we will have this as for everyone, for the existing customer as well as for the new customer. So they will have some kind of transition that will take place. Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
Yeah, I see one of the question asked by Rohit regarding the licensing. It reads like in case if you make the public facing website, can we please explain the end user licensing on Power Pages? I think we have already you have already covered that, and this question was asked before that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have already like discussed this one, but same thing. Like if you are building a public website, so you can go with the subscription based, okay, where you can take the bulk option, and you can say that okay, you can just think that how many visitor you are going to get into your website. So depending on that, you can decide your okay, I want to get this much licensing on this much bulk volume licensing. So these are the main thing. But yes, Microsoft always have a volume licensing option as well, so that you can, when you want to go for on that in the big scale, so you can discuss this with the Microsoft, and there will be definitely for the more volume license, the pricing will be something little bit different than this. But these are the common things that we have on the, public website. You can go with the subscription one. Yeah,
I think there are no other questions, Mahendar. So
perfect.
yeah, Thanks for an amazing session on Power Pages and sharing your knowledge with us. So definitely there are number of takeaways from this session. Like from myself, just I got the good insights about the what is the difference between the actual the Power Portals and these particular Power Pages. So it's time to take.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. I'll stop the recording before that. Right. We'll again